COVID-19 Atheism in the Dark 2. Written by Akbar. Voiced by Wafi Shihad.
Viruses are not enemies. What is the answer to the question? If microorganisms consisting of viruses and bacteria are expressions of God's mercy, why do they cause diseases and hardships? To answer this question, let us go back to the problem of human pharynx. The argument is that if a human body is surgically fitted with two separate tubes from one's nose and mouth to lungs and stomach, we could have avoided accidents and deaths through choking. If we merely consider the roles of breathing through nose and of eating and drinking through mouth, and look at the problem on the basis of choking, we may think that the argument holds water. But when we consider humans comprehensively and understand the systems in our mouth and noses symbiotically in the fulfillment of various roles, we will be able to assess the magnanimity of the roles being played by pharynx. Then only can a recalcitrant critic identify his or her mistake in considering the dispensability of pharynx, which plays major roles from making of human speech, which makes man human, to the coupling of spouses, which has to occur between them all through the year. If they are humble to some extent, they will correct their mistake. Most of the atheists would not deign to correct the mistake, but rather take recourse to finding another fault of God. The believers, on the other hand, approach the issue from another angle. Though they have not yet understood the roles of a pharynx, they think that there are larger designs of God behind it, which they should try to understand. They look on choking as the test of God, and they should follow the commands and prohibitions which help them resist the choking. And if at all choking occurs ever after, they abide by those commands, they have to bear with it, and those who bear with it will be rewarded by God. This is the most creative approach in this regard. That is also the case with viruses. All organisms, including viruses and bacteria, play a great role in preserving ecological and biological balance on Earth, which is the only place in the universe blessed with life. When we see viruses on the basis of diseases they cause, we are prone to hate them. Here we consider only their problems. When we try to understand everything, including these problems, in the larger context of this universe, we will be able to realize the depth of the blessings that we enjoy. Then we will be able to understand, to realize that all organisms, including the pathogens, are expressions of the mercy of the Creator. Though we are not able to realize at this point the beneficiary roles being played by the pathogenic microorganisms or not, the believers understand them as ultimately beneficiary. That is the reason why they accept their benefits and pray and work against their potential harms. If this world is created by those who pour scorn on God, the shape of this earth would be like the face of someone whose throat is fitted with two pipes in order to remove the pharynx. There would not be viruses, bacteria, and fungi in that world. Not any studies and researches on them, not any colleges to teach them, no hospitals, nor doctors or nurses. And is that all? No. There would not be any metabolism in humans and other animals. Their immunity would not grow. There would not be butter or curd. The remnants of tubers and fruits would not merge with the earth. The excreta of animals would not coalesce in the earth. The plants cannot grow in fertilizers. The corpses of animals do not decompose. The earth will be filled with the corpses of all humans, including the first man, and of all animals, including dinosaurs and mammoths, and he would be proudly walking over all dead corpses. A question naturally comes about. Could God desist from creating pathogens? The question in reply is, who said that they were created to cause lethal diseases? Let us go back to the point of pharynx. Pharynx was created not to trouble humans through choking. If it had been, accidents and deaths caused by choking would have been a recurrent phenomenon. A human passes through his mouth food, drinks, or saliva at least 1,000 times a day. In the average lifetime of a person, the number of intake comes about 27,375,000. Out of about 27.5 million times, it is only a few times that a person feels choking. Only a few humans face some sort of accidents out of choking, and even a few of them less die of it. What does this mean? In pharynx, there are systems to stop choking. The very small organ called epiglottis serves the purpose. Though epiglottis plays the role of creating certain human sounds, its central role is to prevent food from entering our lungs. This small organ plays the huge role of keeping food, water, and saliva from entering our lungs, even once in 27.5 million times of absorbing them. If we try to find an answer to the question as to why at least some of us are endangered by choking or even die of it, despite those safety measures, we will be able to understand that it is not the systems of God, including the viruses, but rather human interventions that are in the dock. Most of the people who die of choking are children below 1 and old people above 75. The reason for this is the negligence of parents and children, respectively, of their infants and the elderly. The young people who die of choking are mostly drunkards. Those who are excessively addicted to alcoholic drinks are susceptible to dying of this. Those who eat their food without chewing and in large portions are also dying of choking. Those who talk and loudly laugh while eating their food are also vulnerable. It is not pharynx, but our negligence of commands and prohibitions regarding its proper upkeep that leads to choking. One should not put blames on the pharynx and the Creator who blessed us with it, but to find our mistakes and duly correct them is the way of the discreet ones to avoid choking. It is estimated that there are 5,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 bacteria in the earth. They have been discovered in the 7-mile depth from the sea level and 40-mile height in the atmosphere. There are more viruses than bacteria on the planet. It is found that 85% of bacteria in a human body are beneficial to him or her. Researchers prove that the viruses deemed harmful have some benefits. Researches in that direction are yet to advance. More and more researchers make it clear that all microorganisms are the systems of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in maintaining equilibrium in the biosphere. We have only a limited knowledge of viruses. Even the scientists held till recently the notion that they are the enemies of man. Now, scientists believe that not only viruses, but even the diseases spread by them are blessings for man. Scientists are being led, following genomic and metagenomic analysis, to the belief that most of the diseases caused by viruses are meant for strengthening human immunity. Studies reveal that our own body contains viruses that are capable of causing lethal diseases, and through the symbiosis between them and our body, they appear to be beneficial for us. When this symbiosis is impaired, the viruses become pathogens. It is our own actions that destroy the equilibrium between our body and the microbic universe instilled in the body. Then they become harmful to us. The equilibrium between the microbic universe and the nature is also similar to the above mentioned equilibrium. Though there are 10,000s of virus geniuses in the land, sea, and sky, they do not cause any disease because of the equilibrium between them and the nature. It is through the destruction of equilibrium created by God that the microbes that were created for our welfare turn out to be harmful for us. Those who conceitedly destroy nature for excessive enjoyment are in fact wreaking havoc on the equilibrium in it. In short, the reason why all that was created for our benefit turned out to be harmful for us because of our own misdeeds. There are perhaps areas where we cannot make any corrections and reforms. When such evils befall them, the believers understand them as the destiny of God and bear with them. It is true that the microbic world is causing certain evils on us. However, those evils are not absolute but relative. We have understood that the reason for them to become harmful for us is the wrong intervention from our part. Believers understand from the divine attribute of Rahman is that even God's determination that relative evil befalls man is ultimately beneficial and the expression of his mercy. Just as we realize the virtues of choking, we may discover the viruses of microbic universe and of the afflictions caused by them, or else we will come to realize in the life after death, where the mercy of Almighty will be perfectly materialized. When evil befalls them, believers will examine their potential role in it. If they realize they had a role, they would correct it. They will entrust everything in God after they do all they can do. They learn from the Prophet that entrust a camel's care with God after tethering it properly. For a believer who is suffering from miseries and afflictions on account of evil, the consideration that even those turn out to be eventually beneficial for them is not insignificant. There is nothing whatsoever to replace the contentment effected by a believer's understanding that the miseries he or she is suffering are eventually virtues and expressions of Allah's mercy, and by his or her bearing with them with the sense that it makes them capable of attaining divine mercy after death. This is the offer of God, which would give comfort to the mind of those who are suffering from afflictions. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger, and the loss of wealth, and lives and fruits. But give good tidings to the patient who, when disaster strikes them, say, "Indeed we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return." Those are the ones upon whom are blessings from their Lord and mercy, and it is those who are the rightly guided.